Oh yeah, nothing more exciting than a big old car, unless of course it doesn't perform well. Now this is supposed to be, I don't see it on here yet, supposed to be a 1/8 scale short course truck. And it's sold by JJRC, yet it says HH? Or maybe it's HJI? HH Racing? HJI Racing? HII? I don't know what that is. Dumbo RC radio, rigid steel frame. Ooh. That's about an 1/8 scale. That's very close to a 4S Mojave size. This can take 6S though. That is a very bright orange. I like it. That is a stiff suspension, thick body. Now this just kind of showed up online. I don't even know if anyone knew this was in the works. I sure didn't. Speaking of cars that are huge, this one's not. You can enter to win this mini Traxxas XRT. Brand new, still in the box, and I'm going to include some cooling fans for it. It doesn't look like we'll have any tire rub problems. Maybe in the front at full lock, but it shouldn't be bad. There's some LED tail lights, humongous bumper thing back here. Same in the front, that thing's huge. Oh wow, this looks so interesting. The tires are somewhat soft, yet still stiff on the sidewalls. It does feel like there's some foam in there, not a whole lot though. These feel like they're gonna slide really well, and because they're still knobby, they should grab really good too. So I'm excited. This is cool because for so long, we've all been asking for larger scale cars from Chinese companies, and we're finally getting them. We've gotten quite a few this year, and I think there's gonna be even more. This is the first large-scale short course truck. Tethered body clips. Ta-da! Wow. Holy smokes. Wow, that looks a lot like Arrma. That looks great under here so far. I'm even more excited now. So we have a, what's the word? Coiled lead for the lights. XT60 connectors. Now again, this takes 6S, but it only comes with one 3S battery. Now there's indication on the box that you can get it with 2. Obviously we are still going to drive this on 6S. We'll do 3S first, just a little bit, make sure it's at least, you know, usable at that voltage, and then yeah, feels like a nice solid battery pack. Now I've never had anything from this brand, but it comes with a Rocket RC ESC and motor, 130 amp and a 4274 2000 kV motor. Little independent receiver here bound to a Dumbo RC radio as shown on the box. An extra pinion gear? Extra wheel nuts, extra wheel pins. Oh, and 3 extra battery straps. So besides the drivetrain, this is a mostly plastic constructed vehicle. You do have big bore all metal adjustable shocks. Definitely oil filled. Big old looking like 8mm tie rods. Same with that servo link. That is just massive. I showed you the big chunky bumpers in the rear. Seem to have some flexibility to them. Control arms seem to have some flexibility. Hopefully they'll be durable due to that. They're allowed to flex instead of crack. Steel cased center differential with steel spur gear attached. The upper and lower control arms, front and rear, are fully captured with a bolt, a through bolt, and a nut. The steering rack is metal. The whole drivetrain is metal. Thick center drive shafts, nice thick axles in the front, some thick dog bones in the rear. Front ones use universal joints. We've got a sliding adjustable motor mount that also holds the motor in the rear, which is also slidable. Right there, there's your sliding screw. That probably could use a washer. This plastic that the chassis is made of feels very rigid with some metal reinforcement plates. These plates start here and go all the way underneath the differential. Same in the rear. Plus you have 2 diagonal braces here and 2 in the front as well. 1 on each side of the drive shaft, front and rear. That's pretty awesome. Plus, of course, the upper brace going all the way across from the top of the tower to the top of the tower. There's a hole for droop screws there, but there is no actual droop screw in there. They should have just put some in, but I guess you can add your own. Oh, and we've got sway bar links. That's the rear. Yep, sway bar links in the front. Looking like a standard size servo. Adjustable metal servo saver right here. That looks like a pretty stout spring. Body protector for rollovers and roof crashes. Again, this does have a center differential, but it feels pretty open. If there's fluid in there, it's not very thick. Same with the front and rear. It feels like there might be some fluid in there, but if there is, it's not quite as thick as you'd like it on a car this size. But really, that's going to be determined on how it drives. So if it drives good and it handles good, kind of like how this big beast was, it feels pretty loose in the diffs too, but it handled great. Man, this thing is looking so far like it's very well made. Hopefully it'll feel that way out on the field as well. The only other gripe I can think of, two, it'd be so great if this was a licensed body. As awesome as the car looks, this body still has a cheapish design to it. It feels good, it's nice and thick. It's just the scheme, the livery on it. There it is next to the 4S Mojave. It actually looks a little bit wider. Wheelbase seems to be exactly the same. Length of the car is pretty much exactly the same. And the only other thing that this seems to lack is a gyro. I don't believe it has a gyro on it. So that's poop. But hopefully it handles well. If it handles well, you don't really need one. Also, XT60s are probably a little on the small side for 6S. I'd rather see these, but if these happen to be likely to melt or explode, we will probably find out in this video. All right, 3S, go. As one would expect, not quite as much power. 24 miles an hour. Oh yeah, lights. Come over here. We got some roof lights and some tail lights. All right, we're going to 6S. 3 is just a little too lackluster. All right, 2 3S batteries. Got the longer straps in there, and it does feel like it holds the batteries in place pretty good. Seriously? Well, that's crappy timing. All right, 6S. You can really feel that no way. Oh my gosh. What I was about to say is you can really feel that center diffing out really bad. Again, the fluid's either, well, not there, or it's too thin. That was 47 miles an hour. That's about what I expected, though 6S I would want a little bit more. Plus it comes with what I assume is a higher speed pinion. That open center diff makes it really hard to turn. All right, let's go try some dirt. Whoa, that was a good one. Definitely better in the dirt. These shadows are not on my side today either. What is that? I don't know. My mom would say don't touch it. Yeah, it does the rocks pretty good. Oh, we lost a taillight. What? Well, this car could use some improvements. I didn't like it. The good news is they are already working on a version 2. They've already had some feedback and they're also taking my experience, I think. My two biggest concerns, there's more, but the two biggest ones would be that it's really hard to turn. I think due to the fact that the center differential is too loose, so the rear wheels just won't spin out when you throttle it and turn it. It just, yeah, it doesn't do that. And then the fact that it traction rolls so easily. Now, part of that is most definitely this super stiff suspension, and that's one of the things they're fixing. They're putting shorter springs on it because the car sits all the way up and it really should be sitting about halfway through its travel. So the suspension has room to move up and down, not just, well, yeah. I think you understand. So that part is being fixed. That'll help with smoothness over bumps, give it that more realistic sway, and setting the car down lower, it should definitely help with the traction roll. Now, I said that these tires earlier felt like they would slide well, and the tread feels like it would, but this is such a sharp angle right here. It's not a rounded tire that's catching, especially on pavement. I also feel like the electronics are, I don't know, they sound weird, like almost make a rough sound, but maybe that's just the metal gears, because the gears are loud, as they typically are with an all-metal drivetrain, but it also just feels like it doesn't have the power I would expect from a 6S car. A lot of that's gonna get lost in that center differential not being thick fluid. That extra pinion that it comes with is larger, so you'll get more speed if you switch that out. So the fact that they're working on a version 2 gives me hope, because everything here just looks so well done. And then it kind of loses it on the actual performance. The connectors aren't melted or exploded, so that's good. So basically, I think this car has hope. There's potential here, but I don't think it was ready for final release yet, especially at the price point. But if you're itching for a budget-ish large-scale vehicle, first of all, there's more large-scale releases coming out this year. But if you haven't seen it yet, check this guy out. It's not as fast out of the box, but it is a finished and very well done product. You can click on the video for this guy right there in the corner of your screen, and if you're interested, don't forget to enter to win this guy.